Commander Zo'far, I just made a video on that guy, but now we hate him. So we're trying to skip him. He's giving something like over 8% count. It's ridiculous. They completely changed the routing in that dungeon, even though they said they weren't going to. I made a couple videos on this topic now already. So I have one video out there that shows you how to do every one of his mechanics, basically completely cheese them, remove them, make them extremely easy to kill. But now you're probably thinking like, yo, I don't really need 9% count from this guy. So you can see that being a pretty easy skip. The problem is for me, I don't really know how reliable this is. I've only really tried it the one time, but I do have some good footage of it and something for you to consider. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially if you're a person who's done this before, who plans on doing this, who likes doing this. I'd love to hear what your experiences are, because this is another one of those things that it's like, oh, it sounds great on paper until you try it. And then you realize, well, this can go bad pretty quick. So let's take a look at the footage we have and we'll talk a bit.
So someday can I stream with you to show people that you can actually life bloom heal, or that you can actually photosynthesis heal and it's a viable heal?
You could try to do that.
Oh, it aggroed.
It's gonna aggro.
It aggroed on us, so I'll click on the thing and see if I can go up.
I hope we caught you at an inconvenient
No, we can't go up.
Nope.
I guess the trick is just standing on this thing here. Yeah. So if you stand right on this, then you can click the console without aggroing the guy. Jump onto the big thing first and then onto that.
No, someone aggroed it.
So first impression seems super risky, because I can't really discern why that aggroed. Like, one person clicks it and no problem, next person clicks it and it aggroed. So let's take a little bit harder look at what we actually have going on here. So trying to notice a discernible difference about where we're standing and hoping that that will lead to some conclusive results for you guys. But as you can see here, I'm basically about probably like 55% of the way up that little decoration thing that we talked about even in the previous video about how useful that is. And I think I could probably go even further. You know, you have to go in there and try, but I think you can definitely get even further closer to the wall there. And maybe you could even just jump behind here as well and then aggro it without aggroing him as well. But it does seem like when you click it, the way it works is it kind of takes you over the boss, like you'll see here. So it kind of starts you based on where you're positioned as well. So like, obviously if you were right on top of the console, it'd probably just take you straight up and you wouldn't have any issues. And you see, this is me about to click it again the second time when we showed the footage, and I aggro it this time when I take it. And you see I'm more about like 30% up the way here. I think the trap point is here that as soon as you get on this thing, you can actually click the dais. And I probably should have recognized that, like, oh, the goal is not to just simply click the dais. It's also to make sure that you're not close enough to the boss. So is this worth it? Well, if you're in a group of 5 people that are in Discord, yeah, absolutely, you can do this no problem. Everybody just needs to know where to stand, and once you identify it, you'll never fail it again. Like, once you know exactly where you are, it's done, right? And so hopefully down below there'll be comments of people instructing different positions that definitely work for them, 100% chance. But it does also feel like this is really finicky, because, you know, if we're only like not even a half a yard away from where we stand when it does work, I feel like this has an inherent problem to it. Because even if you do know where to stand, people might get lazy. They might click by accident. They might think they're somewhere that they're not, and they might accidentally pull this mob. And as you see in this situation, we're good. There's 3 people upstairs. I'm going to click it and aggro it, and then the 4th person that still needs to click it is still down there, and now he can't come up. So he's in combat with it because he's probably too close to it. And then, you know, what do? Somebody dies, and potentially doing that 2 or 3 times, maybe not the end of the world. Especially if you die down there, you can just be rezzed up here. A healer can just click it, get up here, and then res everybody else as well. I just don't really know. Like, what do you guys think? Do you think this is worth it? He gives a ton of count. You know, there's always been this oscillation on this topic. I feel like I feel like nobody really ever truly agrees on this. It's the same thing with the mini boss in Necrotic Wake. That guy has so much count surrounding him, and it just seems like such a slam dunk. Like, when a single mob gives that much count and then everything around him dies so quick and gives even more count, to me that seems like the ideal situation. Because I look at it from this perspective, like, you're using all your CDs and getting this much count, whereas you might be using all your CDs and getting like half of that on other packs. It's like a ratio of like key presses to count. That's the way I always look at it, because, like, you know, you offer mistakes the more you fight, and so the less you fight just total, the less you have to press your keys, and the more value you can get out of each cooldown count wise, the more value you get out of them throughout the dungeon. That's the way I've always approached it, but that's not the way everybody approaches it. A lot of people look at it purely by a time investment standpoint, and that's obviously probably more logical. So the question is it worth your time? time. Well, I've now shown you how to completely cheese that guy so he's one of the easiest mobs in the game, and I've now showed you how to skip it. So you be the deciding judge there. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Hope it helps. We will see you guys in the next one.